Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. You don't see me at the moment, but I'm on the ground floor, the first floor of my home. And today we're going to have a look at all the philodendrons that I have. This first one that I'm showing you is a Philodendron urobescens Imperial green. It's growing very well for me. As you can see, sorry, just a bit brighter. That is facing south. That's my tiny little garden out there. But the philodendrons seem to like it here very much. This Imperial green is what's called a clumping philodendron, or forms a sort of a rosette. But it is sort of pushing up a stem, and it is getting some aerial roots. I hope it won't need any support. Anyway, it's growing extremely well. Very nice. I love its big leaves. I give it a dusting every now and then to clean the leaves off, but it's doing well. Now, one that is growing extremely slowly for me is this Philodendron, is it a Martianum, sometimes known as a fat boy. This is a very slow grower. Okay, I've had it for over a year and it's probably put out 5 or 6 leaves, but they're not getting any bigger. This is also a clumping one, but there's a new leaf coming. It's put out this one, and here is a new leaf coming out now. But yeah, very slow, but it does have those fat, chunky, juicy stems, which I suppose is why it's called a fat boy. But, it's growing, but very, very slowly. And I've shown you some of these before in, I think, on my favorites video. And this one I want to show you now is a Philodendron glorious. And we'll just go back. You can see its outline there. Way here, there are no leaves. And this is one of its original leaves, and this one is one of its original leaves. Living in my old apartment, it just didn't grow. It doesn't matter where I put it, under the skylight, under a grow light, in a darker corner, in a medium light corner, near a window. Small leaves, deformed leaves, went yellow. But since I moved here and put it against this window, south-facing window, and outside is a terrace that is covered, it does get direct sunlight in winter when the sun is lower in the sky. But it does like it here, and which is my newest leaf. It's here. This is the newest leaf. So, I'm sorry that it's a bit dark against that window, but it's beautiful. It's almost at the top of its moss pole. There's my little watering system. And will be due for a cut and extend, chop and extend this moss pole. And then I'm hopeful that it will continue to get big green leaves. A cutting that I bought locally is a Philodendron giganteum variegata, and it's also a clumping one, but it is also producing aerial roots, and it will get a bit wobbly eventually, so it'll probably have to have a support stick. I think this is the newest leaf here. Just look at that marbling. Let me put it against the window. There we are. Look at the marbling on the leaves. It has absolutely beautiful. I love this philodendron, but I do understand that as these leaves get bigger and bigger, it's going to need more real estate. There's the leaf it pushed out before. Also beautiful marbling. Variegation, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Down the bottom we have a little philodendron white wizard. This is the bottom of the one I'll show you in a little while that I did a chop and extend. And this is the bottom. Have to find someone to give this to. One of my favorites, philodendrons, and I'll just move over to this side, is this Philodendron Golden Goddess, also called a Malay Gold. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me go back here. Beautiful. It's also right at the top of its moss pole. There's its new leaf coming out, and it's going to need a chop and extend very, very, very soon. By the way, there's an inflorescence. It was open this morning when it got a little bit brighter light, but it's closed off now, and I'm going to cut it off today. And it has a second inflorescence here. I'm going to cut that off as well. I don't want the flowers draining the energy. I want the plant to grow, but it is a beautiful plant. It's never lost a leaf for me, and it's lovely, this sort of limey, yellowy color. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful plant. And my last plant that I have here on the ground floor is an Arabescens Imperial Red, a cousin to the Imperial Green. Also, beautiful plant. It's putting out leaf after leaf after leaf, even in winter. It has a new leaf coming out here. This one hasn't unfurled yet, and there's another one getting ready there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sort of chocolatey red color. Beautiful plant. It also is one of these rosette or a clumping philodendron, and it also likes it here. And I really think that I might bring some of my other moss poles down here, because this, I mean, there is a grow light here. There's a Sansi grow light here, which I put on as it starts to get dark, or else if it's a shady day. But I think this sort of simulates the light conditions of these plants if they were growing in nature on the forest floor, in between all the trees, and getting a little bit of light, a little bit of dappled light, etc., etc. But yeah. I'm really, really glad that the Philodendron glorious has come good and has nice, beautiful leaves. It's a wonderful plant to look at, but I do love this Malay Gold. Of course, the Malay Gold and the glorious, I've actually turned them around because they are actually facing the other way towards the window, so that all the leaves face the window. But beautiful. Now, if you will excuse me to continue this tour, we're just going to, and don't look at any mess that you see. We're going to hop upstairs. Just hop upstairs. We'll go up to the second floor in Lithuanian terms. And we'll have a look at some more philodendrons that I have up here. One that I have growing up here against the wall. And I've got a grow light on it now because it's afternoon and the sun is moving towards the west. And this is a Philodendron Hederhedum lemon lime. You know, it's grown all the way down to the floor. I think I've wrapped this around there 3 or 4 times, but it's just a beautiful plant. And it has sort of yellowy leaves, limeish leaves orangey leaves when they come out, and then when they mature, they're a nice shade of light green. But I love this plant. Love this plant. I just water it with a little bit of my fertilizer, and it's doing very well, very well. Now we'll pan over. Just to show you quickly, my Thai constellation. This was its most recent leaf that I showed you, and voila. You can see it's pushing out a new leaf, so beautiful. Now, Philodendron Burlmark. A lot of people don't like this plant, but I like it. It's variegated. I mean, people are a bit crazy for variegated plants, so, why not go crazy for this one? They're not expensive. It's actually a cross between a Philodendron Congo and a Philodendron Imperial Green, so it does have a relative down there in the on the ground floor, first floor. But I like it. I do have a couple of small props of this, which it pushed out some pups. But yeah, no, I've had no problems with this. It just plugs along, puts out a new leaf every now and then, even in the winter, no problems whatsoever. Here we have my Burlmarks variegated. I think there's like 3 plants in here, but it's quite a mess in this pot. But I don't want to give it a moss pole. I'll just let it climb up a stick. But yes, lovely leaves. It does have, a few of these half moons. And there's another one there with a little bit of variegation. I did see another there's another half moon up there. And that's its most recent leaf. A bit less variegation. The one before that had half variegated, half green. But, it's growing. It's pushing out new leaves all the time, doing extremely well. It's a bit unruly, but, what can you do about that? Now, here in the corner, this is my Philodendron Hederhedum. No, it's not. It's a Hastatum silver sword. And it is also getting close to the top of its moss pole. This has been chopped and extended once. I have the bottom part on a small moss pole in another room, waiting till I find someone to give it to. But, the leaves are, lovely size. I love its little ears up here, growing very nicely, very nicely. This one's a lovely big leaf, beautiful leaf. This one here, I'm watering it with the cup method, and it's growing well, but it's, leaves have really gone up. There's some of the smaller leaves that were left when I did the chop and prop. No problems, it didn't miss a beat when I stuck it in the chunky aroid mix after cutting it in half, and it has continued to grow up. Now, another one that's growing, and look at this is the stem now is about the thickness of my index finger or my middle finger. It's quite chunky. So another one that's growing on a moss pole here is the Philodendron erubescens white wizard. And it's a white wizard because the petioles have white variegations. And it's called something else if it's got red ones. There's white wizard and white something else, but it's gone out of my mind. Lovely variegation, nice sized leaves. It's sized up quite nicely. It's churning its way up there. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And it also, very chunky here now. It's the thickness of my finger. A bit wobbly, but I'll have to think about what I do with that in the future to sort out that problem. But yes, this is a part of, and it's right next to the south-facing window is to the left of the plants. So, and it does get a little bit of a grow light every now and then, but yes, look at that. The other one in the corner is a Mandula pothos. We'll talk about that one another day. But yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. I had no problems with this silver sword whatsoever. It's doing extremely well. Now, I'll just switch you off for a minute. Now you can see me. Hi, welcome again. If you haven't been here before, my name is Bruno. I'm an Australian that's been living here in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, for the last 30 years. And we've had some interesting weather lately. Late Sunday afternoon, early evening, the heavens opened up extremely strong winds, and this storm lasted till late Monday afternoon, early Monday evening. A lot of damage. It's been counted in the millions of euros across the country. There are some regional areas that still don't have electricity and may not have electricity till tomorrow or Friday. So, how do you live these days without electricity? I didn't really have any much damage. I had one plant that the wind thrashed about and broke its branches off, but minor damage compared to the little forest, little woodland that's close to me where I go for my walks with Benji. Impossible to go for the walk on Tuesday morning because the paths were covered in fallen trees, fallen branches. I counted 25 fallen trees. Most of them were birch trees, big, old, tall trees. Some were fallen on the path, some were fallen down in the forest. Can't quite work out why they fell, but having a look at the root clump, it appears that a birch tree doesn't have very deep roots. They seem to be along the top, and when you've had a day of non-stop heavy rain, and I think the forecaster said that in that 24-hour period we were expecting to get the full dose of rain that normally falls in the whole month of July in a 12-hour period. So lots of road floodings and underpasses flooded and gardens flooded, and even going for a walk in my area with my dog, some of the street trees and street plantings, haven't broken the plants, but they're leaning about 45 degrees. So there's work for the city councils all over the country to straighten things out and clean up all the fallen trees and branches and logs and all the rest of it that's on the roads and on the footpaths, etc. Not pleasant, but and we don't normally get these types of storms in summer. We actually did have I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, a tornado in one of the mid-north of Lithuania, and it was the most violent tornado in the history of this country. So, climate change, it's showing itself. And as I said, we don't get these. We do get heavy thunderstorms in summer as the forests and the lakes and the rivers evaporate the water, the clouds form, and thunder and lightning and heavy rain. But this was combined with very, very, very swift wind, fast winds. So the ground is soggy, can't absorb any more, can't absorb any more water, and of course, heavy wind blows. Plant that doesn't have really, really deep, thick roots, boom, falls over. Like bowling pins, they look like in the forest. And I said most of them were really big, tall, old birch trees. So anyway, now I have 2 more philodendrons to show you. Of course, Philodendron erubescens, pink princess, Okay, this leaf is nice, but the rest of the plant is ugly. Okay, it's just pushed out one more. I have patience. I've got it growing in pon. All my other philodendrons are in chunky soil mix, aeroid mix. This one is in pon because ever since I put it in pon, it seems to put out more leaves. And the soil is a little more moist, doesn't dry out as quickly, but that leaf I like. But the rest of it, it still has all of its leaves, but I'll be patient. I'll just wait and hopefully eventually it might grow into something nice that you sometimes see in the garden centers, a bigger, fuller plant with beautiful pink variegation. But I'll wait. I'm in no hurry. No hurry at all. Anyway, now, although most of my philodendrons are growing extremely well, very well, should I say, I have one Now, please, I will hear you laughing from here when you watch this video clip, but at the moment it's in a cloth. I've put it in this. I think, Oh, and the pink princess? Why did I buy it? Because it was €8. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. What's €8 for a pink princess? Okay, it was much, much more small. Half that size when I got it. Anyway, back in November 2022, I bought a philodendron in November 2022. So soon it will be 2 years. It's actually twice the size it was when I bought it. And I've still got it in this tiny little pot. I've done everything with this plant. I've grown it under grow lights. I've put it back in the prop box under a grow light. I put it near a south-facing window. I put it next to an east-facing window. I've put it everywhere. These leaves right at the top here, they're the newest, and it seems to be doing something. They're 2 years of growth. I think for a year and a half, a year and 3/4, it did nothing. It would put out a new leaf, and that leaf would go mushy and fall off. Now, since I put it in the cloche, it seems to be growing better. And what is this particular plant? What is it? I will find it somewhere. I wrote down a cheat sheet so I could tell you what it was. It's a Philodendron Caramel Pluto. No. Really? 2 years? It's more or less the same size as when I got it 2 years ago. It's done nothing. The roots are not pushing out the bottom. The roots are not rotting because it's grown a little bit now since I put it in the cloche. But, I know. I'm going to hear you laughing. Wherever you are in the world, I'm going to hear you laughing. This bloody Caramel Pluto, Philodendron, But one thing you learn when you start with this indoor plant hobby is you have to be patient. Some plants go crazy straight away. Some take a while, like some Hoyas, take ages, and then suddenly, bang. Well, I'm waiting for the bang with this plant, so that's the last of the Hoyas that I wanted, philodendrons that I wanted to show you. And it's growing in a self-watering, old, I think it's an IKEA candle holder, stick it in there. And I'm just in the middle of watering this floor. So I thought, if I'm going to be moving my plants around and watering, I may as well film. Because I've been talking about filming something for philodendrons for a while. Now, something I didn't show you, I don't know, a couple of videos ago when I talked about some new plants that I got. I forgot to show you a plant that I got. Yes. My Alocasia black velvet. Isn't she gorgeous? Beautiful. Beautiful veining underneath and red shining through. And since I've had it, this is, I think, Alocasia reginula. Now, very tempted to say reginala. In Latin, a G is not a J. It's a G, reginala, and it's regina for queen. Like there's a Hoya, which I've heard some people pronounce as Cummingii. It's not a Cummingii, it's a Cummingii. The person's surname is Cumming. It's not Cumminge, it's Cumming. In Latin, it's a G, not a J. So beautiful, beautiful. And I immediately repotted it in Lechuza pond, in a self-watering pot. It's growing very nicely for me, and when I took it out of its pot, nursery pot, when I got it in, I found some corms. 5 of them, in fact. And now I have 5 of these. 5 baby black velvets. This one is already producing the pinkish back. This one hasn't, the youngest leaf. And I have 5 of these. Now, I'm really hoping that in Vilnius, sometime in August, if I'm not gone on holidays, we will have a plant swap, because I just don't know what to do with these. I don't want to throw them out. You know, I've grown these little babies from their corms. Put the corms in fluval stratum. Never have any problems with fluval stratum. And when they've got 2 leaves, I put them up in pond, in semi-hydro. Beautiful. 5 of them. Have to find something to do with them. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did get some new Hoyas. Yes, I thought I'd show them to you, because they're in my prop box, and since today I've decided I'm going to take everything out of that prop box and clean it and wash it and disinfect it and put everything back in, I thought I would show you what I bought. These were cuttings from Hoya Passion in Poland, and the first one is a Hoya latifolia, big leaves. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. I hope it keeps its big leaves. And can you see? Where can we show you? Can you see? It has roots all around the edge of this. No growth points pushing out yet, but yeah, why not get a... I just noticed before, you could see it has, the edges have a lovely black margin. Beautiful black margin around the edges. Beautiful. Lovely. So, I bought 4 Hoyas for myself. Not easy choosing, because I think I've had purchased in the past some Hoyas that a little bit for more advanced growers, those that have a grow tent or an IKEA cabinet. Mine are all in room conditions. Okay, the Hoyas now in that room, in the Hoya room, 1 floor up, they're just gone crazy. It's hot in that room, but I do have a fan in that room to keep the air circulating, and it's quite humid. It's like between 60 and 70% at the moment, because it's quite humid outside. And yes, it's though all the Hoyas are doing extremely well. The Hoyas that I have the biggest problem with at the moment is Hoya Bella. Don't ask me. Every time I watch something on YouTube, oh, it's such an easy Hoya to grow. Well, I'm sorry, it's not. It didn't grow well directly under a grow light. For me, they don't grow well next to the south-facing window. I can put them next to a north-facing window, but that's, very low light. So I've actually put the plain green Hoya Bella outside on a table in my covered terrace. And you know what? It seems to be growing. So, while the night temperatures are in the 14 to 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees Celsius, it can stay outside, because it seems to be growing. So, maybe it likes it outside. And maybe I gave it too much light. I don't know. I propped it and repropped it and repropped it and cut it and rerouted it and tried to grow, and it grew well in the prop box, and then as soon as I planted it up into a nice mix, boom, nothing happened. So another Hoya that I bought for myself is a Hoya retusa. Look. Those spindly 3 at the top are actually new leaves that it's put out. The plant was up to here a couple of weeks ago, and boom, that's grown. For this one, I don't actually see any new roots. along the margin. And I've rooting them in a mixture of tree fern fiber and pon, 50-50. Half pon, half tree fern fiber. Because, this is another one of these things that, suddenly everybody thinks tree fern fiber is, God's gift to indoor plant hobbyists. Well, that's what they said a year or two ago about pon. Oh yes, grow your plants in pon. Yes, I'm moving all my Hoyas, moving all of these plants to pon. Well, some of those people that told us all that pon is the best thing ever to grow some types of genuses of plants in, they're shifting all their plants back to soil, potting mix, out of pon. So, we do have these fads. And, tree fern fiber is not cheap. It's like pon. Pon is not cheap either. But I do have some Hoyas in pon. I have one philodendron in pon. All my Alocasias are in pon. They love it in pon. Of course, you find the substrate that works best, and that's the one you use. So the retusa is, as I said, not showing any roots, but what can I do? Another one I got, you'll know what that is. Yes, it's Polyneura. Hoya Polyneura albomarginata. Albomarginata just means that the edges are white. Lovely. 2-leaf cutting, and I did not see any roots showing. Yes, one white root, but it's right at the top here. Nothing further down, but there's one tiny white root right there. But, I sort of picked these plants because I thought they will grow well in room conditions, Time will tell. I have made mistakes with some. And one more that I got is Hoya globulosa. Yeah, Hoya globulosa. Very, very attractive veining on the leaves. This one was a 1-leaf cutting, but I can see, you won't see it there, but there's a tiny little green spot there, light green. It's producing a growth point. This one, yes, I can see a root just growing there. I can only see one, but it is growing roots and it is pushing out a growth point. The others, I don't see any growth points, but time will tell. So these, I just wanted to share these with you, because don't think I've given up on Hoyas. I've given up on some of them. My little Egyptian sarcophagus has quite a few name tags in it, but what can I do? Now, those that have been with me for a while, I bought this Monstera Thai constellation when I moved into this new house. And I moved in a week before my birthday. So that was my birthday present to myself last year. Well, I didn't want to wait until my birthday this year. It's not far. But I bought myself a birthday present for this year. And it's an Alocasia. Not particularly cheap for the size that it was, but I had to get it. And you'll know what it is. Yes. It's in pon. It's in self-watering. It is a Alocasia Frydek variegata. Okay, this was its oldest leaf. Well, that it came in, it's on its way out, but it did push out this new leaf with very lovely variegation. So it's still small, but I love the variegations on it. Look at that fried egg. I'd love to have a big plant of this. It's still a bit wobbly, so it's not quite rooted into the pond, but this is this year's birthday present to myself. So that's about all. Yeah, that's about all I have for today. How much have we done? 35 minutes. It's not too bad. It's quite warm. It's quite humid inside because it's quite humid outside. And today we have a nice sunny day. 23 Celsius in the shade, so it's like 26, 27 out in the sun. It does feel quite warm out there in the sun. So I hope you're all enjoying your summer. I've seen, we've had strange weather everywhere, heat waves in the Western Mediterranean, in the Eastern Mediterranean. We had a heat wave, and then that was followed by this big storm we had on the weekend, on Sunday and on Monday. So, I hope where you are, you have pleasant, hot or warm, whatever you like, beach weather, and you're enjoying the summer. Because I know that in many parts of Europe, August is the holiday month where, places almost closed down, especially government institutions, because everybody goes on holidays in August in some countries. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. So if you liked what you saw, press like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Press subscribe. Cost you nothing, and keep up to date with what's happening with my plants. I don't really like doing unboxing videos. I'll rather show you what I've got that I've bought rather than unboxing. I do watch some unboxing videos because I like to see what these people have got. But I could just as well see them in their little pots, rooting, etc., etc. So I don't really do unboxing videos. I don't really do replanting, potting up. There's so many videos online on YouTube that, how many of them can you watch? I do like to watch some of them, but then, scooping soil in a pot, putting it. I'd like to see it potted up and show me what it looks like 3 or 4 months later. Yes. So that's why, I basically just show you what my plants are doing, those that are going out of control, those that need to be chopped and extended on their moss poles. I'm not a real favourite of moss poles. Keeping them moist is not easy, not an easy task, but that's what we do when we have houseplants. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you are well and you're having fun. And I'll see you next time. Probably will show you the Hoyas because they're gone crazy up there. I put in a couple of shorts today because my Hoya carnosa silver is flowering right now. It's the Hoya that flowered for the first time ever of any of my Hoyas when I was living in the other apartment. I almost killed that plant, but it's come good. It's actually in pond. In a hanging basket, and I didn't even notice it until I looked at it this morning to water it or check that it needs watering because it's in a semi-hydro plant, and I recognized the aroma, smell, lovely, not irritating whatsoever. And my Hoya multiflora outer variegated has 3 peduncles. 2 are right next to each other. One of those 2 has blasted some of its buds, but not all of them, and the one next to it has all of its buds. They seem to be grown to the size where I'm almost expecting them to flower again, because it's been a while since I've had at least a year since a Hoya multiflora has flowered for me. And one of its other stem, because it's got 2 stems, has a tiny little peduncle that it's pushing out. So maybe there'll be another plant, another flower there. So yeah. So I hope all your plants are doing well, And until next time, ciao, babies.